Good morning, children. This is Satyakam Rajput, your BST teacher, with the topic Taylor's Scientific Management Techniques. In the previous video, we have discussed about Professor Taylor's Scientific Management Principles. Now, continuing with the Scientific Management Techniques. Now, these are the techniques which are very useful for the factory management, which is propounded by Professor Frederick Winslow Taylor. Now, this is the result of extensive experiment which is done by Professor Taylor. So to start with the techniques, let's start with the first one, the first technique. The first technique is functional foremanship. Now functional foremanship means, first of all, we need to understand foreman. Who is a foreman? The foreman is a person who is a manager in the lower level, right? So he is a person who is a link between the workers and the management, middle level management. In the lower level management, he is the manager, lowest manager in the hierarchy, and he is in direct contact with the workers. So as per Professor Taylor, this particular position is a key position to increase the productivity in the factory at that particular time. So he decided to do an extensive study related to this. He found that for a foreman, it is very necessary to have various types of skills, which is not possible in a single person. So he decided to divide it in two different parts. So planning in charge and production in charge will take care of 4 different foremen each. So under planning in charge, there will be 4 different foremen of having different skills or area of specialization. The first one will be instruction card clerk, route clerk, time and cost clerk, and disciplinarian, as you can see in the slide under planning in charge. And same if we see in under production in charge, there are 4 different foremen: speed boss, gang boss, repair boss, inspector, right? So the worker, if the worker will face any problem related to a particular aspect, he will contact to that particular specialist foreman. Fine. Now Taylor advocates functional foremanship for achieving ultimate specification. So the technique is developed to improve the quality of work, as single supervisor may not be an expert in all the aspect of the work, right? So that can be supervised by specialist foreman. The scheme is an extension of principle of specialization at the supervisory level. Now we'll go to the next technique, that is standardization and simplification of work. So standardization, if we see, it refers to the process of setting standards for every business activity. Now these standards are known as the benchmarks which must be adhered to during production. Now, the objective of standardization may be to reduce a given line of product to fixed type, size and characteristics, to establish interchangeability of manufactured parts and products, and to establish standards of excellence and quality in material as well as in the performance of men and machine. So to improve the performance of men and machine and to increase the quality in material and bring excellence, certain standards are required. So this is what speaks about standardization in the factory. Continuing with the simplification part, it aims at eliminating superfluous varieties, sizes and dimensions. The aim is to eliminate unnecessary diversity of products, which results in saving of cost of labor, machine and tool, which helps in fuller utilization of equipment. So this is what standardization and simplification of work. Next is work study technique. Under this, it includes method study, motion study, time study and fatigue study. The objective of method study, first of all we will see the method study. The objective is to find out one best way of doing the job. So as per Professor Taylor, every task can be performed in many different ways, but there is only a single best way to perform that job, and this is what is the objective of method study: to find that particular method, one best way of doing that particular job and applying it as a standard method throughout the organization. Now we'll see the method study procedure. Now you can see it selecting the job or process, then record all the relevant facts about the job, then examine critically all the recorded facts, develop the new method, define the new method, install the new method as standard practice. I underline this as standard practice, and maintain the new method for the job process operation. This is what method study. Now coming back to motion study, if we talk about motion study, it refers to an in-depth study of movement of a worker while doing a task. So if a task is to be performed, it requires various types of physical movements. As per Taylor, it is categorized under three different categories, three different types: productive movement, unproductive movement, and incidental movement. The objective of motion study is to eliminate unproductive movements in doing a task to achieve efficiency and reduce the time required to do the task. Next is time study. It determines the standard time taken to perform a well-defined job. You all must be aware about TAT, turnaround time. So what exactly is turnaround time? An average time required to perform a particular job. In an organization, it is very necessary to find out a standard time which is required to perform a particular job. Now this helps in deciding the time required to perform a job and helps the management in determining a fair day's wage, incentive schemes, and labor cost. This is by using the stopwatch. Next is fatigue study. This study seeks to find out the amount of frequency of rest interval to be given to worker in completing a task. You know that by doing a particular task continuously, it brings fatigue after certain time period. So the worker requires to be refreshed. It has to be given a certain time interval so that he can regain the stamina and work with the same efficiency again. Differential piece wage system. If we talk about differential piece wage system, the name itself says different wage for the same job. So this is what a technique of wage payment based on efficiency of worker, productivity of the worker. The efficient workers are paid more and the inefficient one are paid less. So this system is a source of incentive to the worker who improves their efficiency in order to get more wage. Simultaneously, the inefficient workers are also encouraged by this system to improve their performance and achieve their standards. So differential piece wage system. I hope you all have understood all the techniques. Okay, Jai Hind. Thank you.